So we'll lead off with a little bit of controversy, I guess,
Mhm.
with the NL Wildcard when it comes to the Mets and the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I pulled it up right here just because I don't know it off the top of my head.
Right.
But so obviously, everybody knows the NL Wildcard is really tight.
Yep.
Between realistically
Three
three teams
teams.
trying to get 2 playoff
Yeah.
spots. Yeah. There is an outside shot. I don't know what the score is of the Padre-Dodger game right now, but there is an outside shot that the Padres win tonight and they knock that magic number down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dodgers do have to play hard these last few games.
Oh, absolutely. If they want the division.
And I don't know who the Dodgers play. I know the Padres close with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
So that's a big series. But so let's go ahead. Let's first talk about.
Dodgers got a bit of a layup with the Rockies.
And of course, anything can happen.
It is in course.
Let's go ahead and talk about the Mets and Braves for a second. So they were supposed to play yesterday and today. They did not because of devastating hurricane. Hopefully everybody's okay. Anybody that happens to be watching from there, hopefully you're okay. But terrible storms hitting a lot of the East Coast. Now knocking that game to Monday.
Right.
Doubleheader. I'll go ahead, and I know that I've talked for a long time here, but I'll start as a Mets fan. I'm mixed emotions.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is because the Braves play a really hard team with the Royals. Royals have to fight hard because that AL Wildcard, the which we'll get to, also wide open.
Yep.
And the Royals are fighting for that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, due to pitch for the Braves yesterday was Chris Sale. Today would have been Max Fried. Now you're looking at Monday, not Max Fried and Chris Sale, because they're going to be used for this Royals game.
Which they need it, yeah.
They need it, and the Braves manager, I'm going to butcher his name, but I think it's Schnedeker.
Yeah.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Ryan Snicker?
Yeah, something like that, whatever.
So
he did say that they might save Sale, but it's kind of tough because you need to win the games against the Royals too.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, for sure.
Because there is a huge chance that the Padres have to play hard to maybe try and win the division, win 2 out of 3, or sweep the Diamondbacks, and then both the Braves and Mets are in. I did also hear from the Braves manager today that there's a talk about if the games don't mean anything, they're not going to play them. I
mean, you would want that for any team going into the playoffs, especially if they're both in. And I mean, why not save your good arms, save the bullpen a little bit, get you well rested for the playoffs,
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking about that because it's a little it's a little easier for the Braves, although travel's never easy. They do get used to it, I know, because they go all over the place for 200 fucking days, or whatever it is. But you got did Brendan Aubrey just miss that?
I looked at you for that exact reason.
Sorry. Oh well. Sorry about that. Brendan Aubrey just missed maybe his first kick of his career. So in the Mets case, the Mets now leave Atlanta and go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If they have to play the games, which I'm assuming they will. If they have to play the games, they'll then leave probably Sunday, go down and play a doubleheader against the Braves on Monday, and then fly to San Diego, which it looks like right now. They'll probably end up playing San Diego. And fly to San Diego for that for the actual wild card series. There is a chance that if the Braves stay in the second, or I mean not the Braves, sorry, if the Mets drop down to the third wild card spot, they'll just turn their ass around and fly right back up to Milwaukee and play Milwaukee.
Right.
But so you'd really hope to where if it can work out that way, no matter what, the Mets would it looks like the Mets, if they make the playoffs, will have to travel down to San Diego, no matter if it's from Milwaukee or from Atlanta. I do think, in a little bit of a bold prediction here, and we'll get your take right now, I do think that the wild card we're going to end up seeing is the Padres playing the Mets and the Braves playing the Brewers. I think that if there is a team that's going to be left out, I think it's going to be the team that went to the World Series last year. I think it's going to be the Diamondbacks, although they are really hot right now.
Yeah.
They just... listen, I'm going to be a homer. I'm wearing a USA jersey right now, but on the back is Dave Wright.
Yeah.
Got the Mets jersey right here. Oddly enough, also got the Brewers jersey right here, but that one does look sick.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a homer, but that's what I think it could look like. What do you think about this whole thing?
I mean, I think if you're the Mets, you're just happy to be here. I know.
Yeah, you're right. No, but you're definitely right.
I know you're not happy to hear that, but I mean, it's And I think although the Padres are hot right now, it's a team that you don't look at aside from like Dylan Cease. You're not like if you could somehow squeak that game out,
Musgrove owns the Mets.
But he hasn't had a great season. No. But I think if you can somehow get a win out of that series, you're looking at that series and you're like, we win this thing, you know? And I think if you're the Diamondbacks, you're probably pretty upset, especially given the fact that, I mean, they did go to the World Series last year. And but it's just a different year. And I mean, look at the Phillies last year. They lost to them, and they look like the juggernaut of the NL right now. And that's with the Dodgers. So
yeah, and
that's
so
my take on it.
That's where we'll go ahead and go into just a little bit, talk about just the National League playoffs, how they're looking to like setting up. Anyways, now obviously, once again, I'm a little bit of a homer when it comes to the Mets.
Yeah,
but without a doubt, and I can't believe I'm saying this. For one guy, I can kind of believe it because he's shown glimpses. But there's not a whole lot of teams outside of the Phillies that have a 1-2-3 going into the playoffs
as strong as them,
as strong as the Mets, with Severino, Peterson, and oddly enough, Manaea.
And we'll say that with the form that they're in right
now.
Yes, with
the form in the
season.
So that's what I'm saying is I'm a little surprised with Severino and Manaea. David Peterson's younger. He's shown glimpses, gotten hurt a lot. And so this is really the full year where he's been healthy. I think he's like 9-2 with this last start. He got roughed up a little bit, might have crept over a 3 ERA, but he's had a fantastic year. So there's not very many teams that can compete with that. And the Mets, I'm not sure if it's still the case, but at least as of a few days ago, they had the most runs batted in from the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitter. So that lineup's deep. That lineup's deep. Now, you're not getting the production right now from the 4 with Pete like you normally do. You're getting a lot of production from 7, 8, 9, and 1. Now, 1's a big question mark because if Lindor can play.
Yeah.
Their MVP, not the NL MVP, but certainly their MVP. Probably runner-up MVP. It's going to be huge. The stuff he offers now, don't get me wrong. Luis Angel Acuna has been amazing. He's been playing lights out. But you would much rather have the guy that's been to a World Series, has been to the playoffs.
And like you said, their MVP, the entire season without no one comes second to that on that team.
No. So I think we were talking about this last show. He has like a 8 WAR, and the next closest 7-7 or something, 7-4.
Yeah,
and then the next closest is Vientos with a 2.8 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
And that's not even a full season of him.
Yeah, no, exactly. Which is also pretty impressive. Probably going to hit 30 home runs. But so we spent enough time talking about the NL. Let's move over to the AL.
Right.
So as of today, probably about a few hours ago, the Yankees did clinch the AL East. I have not looked at the
exact matchups.
The exact thing yet. With a Twins loss today, or a Tigers loss today, I do believe the Baltimore Orioles would clinch that top spot.
I would say it's pretty given that they're going to get it.
Yeah, they either need to win one of their last few games or have one of those other teams lose. So it looks like they're going to clinch that. So that's almost now they've kind of fallen off.
The Twins?
Not the Twins. I'm sorry, the Orioles. Right. They were leading that division by a lot. They got a lot of young guys. We'll get into that. Let's go into the real, meat of this, I guess.
Yeah.
When you're talking, it's not as close, as maybe everybody's cracking it up to. You got the Royals in the second wild card.
Yep.
And miraculously, a team that sold at the deadline got rid of Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
Got rid of a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Brought up a lot of young guys. That can go one of two ways.
Definitely.
You bring up a lot of young guys to get some experience. But with lack of experience can come,
inconsistency.
Yeah, well, they've shown to be really consistent.
Oh, yeah.
And they've
on a heater right now.
I think they're either the second or third hottest team since the trade deadline. But it's really weird because they're the only one of those two teams that didn't buy.
Yeah, and sold even.
Yeah, and they sold. They
didn't buy. Yeah.
And so you have the Twins sitting there 2.5 back. Now that's not as tight. It almost looks like the AL is almost
They have
sealed.
to sweep and they need the guys ahead of them to lose. And that's asking for a lot.
Going to that. Let's talk about this for a second. I saw this report earlier today. The White Sox, in good old baseball fashion, chose to skip Garrett Crochet's start today to have him start against the Tigers tomorrow. They said it's because it's an AL Central rivalry. Makes a lot of sense. and you want to make it hard on your rivals.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, and maybe I was a little shocked by this, but a lot of people were like, this is good for baseball. And I think it's good for baseball too. But I thought a lot of people, I even saw Detroit fans saying this is good. We want to know where our team is that right before the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And you're not going to get much better than Garrett Crochet in the AL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only person you might arguably get better is on their team. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
But so I want to get your take on, if you think this is good for baseball or, bringing some of these rivalries back where we haven't really seen much of that in a while. You have some AL or some NL East rivalries where the Phillies and Braves kind of go at it. I won't put the Mets in that because the Mets have really been struggling. But you have, the Dodgers and the Padres and
those teams that have constantly been going to the playoffs.
And they're fighting hard all the time. But I want to get your take on a team that has 120 losses, really trying to stick now, coming off a sweep. Sorry, coming off a sweep.
They didn't need them today anyway, so that's fine.
Coming, 120 losses. Really kind of sticking it to a team that's fighting for a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, I love it for baseball because, like you said, as a Detroit fan, you want to see, and especially when it looks like they're going to be in the playoffs, you want to be facing the best and facing the sharpest pitchers. And I mean, like you said, it's not much better in the AL. And I think for me, it's just good for baseball. Fans are going to go to the game. They're all right. We got one ace. We got the other team's ace, and we got us who are red hot right now off 5 straight wins. I mean, you feel like you could take on anyone right now, and especially given the form in the second half, you're like, shit, we could do this, and you want to do it, especially because if you take him out, the rest of the series is probably gonna be a sweep anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So it's like you take out the head guy in game 1, you're looking forward to the rest of the weekend thinking, we got this.
I'm thinking the Tigers would feel a different way if the Twins were like 1 game back.
Yeah.
Or something, or tied. But like if it kind of looked like the NL right now, I think they'd feel a certain way.
Yeah.
But with the fact that they're probably pretty confident that they can now, this is lack of research on me, so I don't know personally, but that they can go into Chicago or play in Detroit and at least take 1 from the White Sox. By the way, please take 1 from the White Sox. It will knock away the Mets.
You mean the Braves? the Royals take 1 off the Braves?
No. I want the White Sox.
Okay.
The White Sox need to lose 1 more game.
Okay.
At least. Because it will take away the all-time loss record from the Mets at 120. They're tied right now. The Mets need to get rid of that. Just wipe that away. Just get rid of that.
I would think this White Sox team is pretty historic for how bad they've been.
By the way, a little bit off topic, I guess, but did you see that the White Sox owner said he wants to cut payroll?
Jeez.
I don't like this. So let's get into this for a second.
Easy.
Let's get into this for a second to close out our first segment. I think that we obviously know there's luxury tax in baseball.
Yeah.
Teams pay a lot in luxury tax. Quite a few of them do.
Yep.
You got the Dodgers, the Mets, the Padres, the Yankees. I think the Phillies might pay some in luxury tax, although it's not a whole lot. They're certainly close.
Yeah.
So you have these teams, and did you know that luxury tax? Might need to be fact checked, but the luxury tax, I do believe, goes into a collective that helps other teams.
Really?
And it's like evenly distributed. So no matter what, these owners of these teams that don't give a fuck are making money,
even off of other teams.
Other teams. Yeah. So when you're a person that just cares about money, why spend any? Like, I understand that, Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies play, is sold out every game.
Yeah.
And they're really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But their owner still pays a lot too.
Absolutely. You got to spend it to make it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they're going to make a whole lot. And I don't know what the TV deals are for the postseason, how much the teams get a cut and all that. But the Phillies are always in it. And the Phillies are always good right now. So they're definitely going to make more money. Now, I'd like to see the difference on what the Phillies owner makes in profit and what he's got to spend on the team compared to what the White Sox will make in profit this year compared to what they spent on their team.
Yeah,
maybe even next year if they actually do follow through and cut payroll. Now, I don't know anybody on their team that's making more than $1 million, so I don't know how they're going to cut payroll.
Probably Lou Bob.
But yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
but you just can't cut Lou Bob.
Yeah, all
these contracts are guaranteed.
Right.
He's got to pay. He's got to get that money somehow.
Yeah.
Look at all the deferred payments we have right now between Bobby Bonilla, Ken Griffey Jr. I think this is the last year getting paid $5 million from the Reds. Chris Davis, first baseman.
He's still making money, right?
just started making money, $10 million a year from the Orioles.
Wow.
I think that started either last year or this coming year. So the deferred payments are all that, but for them, yeah. And then obviously the most recent controversial one was Shohei Ohtani, just because of the bulk of money.
Off.
But
he's
so
making
actually,
chips. He's making chips right now.
I know. Going back to our short we made, now we're kind of jumping all over the place, but this just got up to mind. So going back to the short we made about Shohei Ohtani, did very well on TikTok. Go ahead and check out our TikTok. Anything. You know, a lot of people in that comment section, over 1,000 likes too. Really well performing video.
Yeah.
A lot of people in that comment section were saying he is only getting paid $20 million or whatever it is, although his contract is $70.
Right.
Those deferred payments are going to be fat.
Oh, absolutely.
In the 2030s.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see your take on what do you think they're going to do? What are the Dodgers going to do when they have such a chunk of their money? Because I know you probably know this. The luxury tax goes up every single year you're over it.
Yeah.
First year you pay 10%. Second year you pay 20%, and it goes up and up, accumulating until, I mean, assuming you duck under, because no owner wants to pay 50+% in a luxury tax.
Yeah.
So what do you think they're going to do when they have such a big chunk? That's a player. That's a premium player, $30 million, and he's a premium player now, and they've already made their money back.
Yeah.
But what do you think they're going to do with that chunk of money?
I think you have to do. It's gonna suck to see it again, but you got to probably do a Bonilla structure where maybe he gets paid $1 million or $5 million for the next, I don't know, 20 years or whatever it is. Because I mean, I think what he's getting this year is like $2 million. It's not even in the 20s.
Oh, okay.
It's something like incredibly low, and it's because of how much the rest of the team is already making without him. And you know, so think about it: 68 times 10 over the next, or essentially after this initial he's gonna get 20 mil basically with the Dodgers. So I think you just have to restructure it. You know, maybe at the end of his career, maybe figure out something that, okay, financially,
what makes sense?
There's no way we can spend $68 million on a guy who's not playing for us.
Yeah.
Because that would be insane.
Yeah.
I think you just have to restructure, because other than that, I mean, that's $68 million in dead money to a guy who's not even, I mean, he might play until he's 39. He's definitely in great shape, but that's, 10 years from now. So we don't know.
And to end this conversation, to end our baseball talk here, thank you for sticking with us through this. You know, it's an investment company that bought the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
What says that this isn't their problem? You know what I'm saying? Like they win like 2-3 World Series.
Yeah.
Have high profile stuff.
I mean, hey,
let's sell the Dodgers. Sell them for much more than what you bought them for. I know you bought them for a lot.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers market's only growing.
Yeah.
You know, you got like 3 years left on that Shohei contract. So you still got the Shohei money. So the new owner is going to be like, oh, we still got it.
Yeah.
The Dodgers still probably going to be good. They're the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm interested to see what ownership does the closer and closer the end of that contract gets, whether they try and sell or like a restructure if they're in to hold the Dodgers.
I would certainly say it would be scummy, but I mean, as far as just pure financial decision.
Oh, these businessmen don't care if it's scummy.
Who cares?
These businessmen don't care if it's scummy, dude. They don't care at all.
It's definitely an idea that I'm sure we'll be discussing in about 9 to 10 years from now when that time comes around.
Yep.
If you see the Dodgers for sale, don't be surprised.
Yeah, that's true.